Hello everyone, my name is Idfi Pancani. I do not need to mention my age anyway, I'm still young enough. My profession is I'm a tour guide as well as a tour leader. So what is the difference between tour guide and tour leader? I'm going to let you know later on. Why do I come up with those two professions? Well, since I was a little kid, I've been dreaming of traveling all around the world and also introducing Indonesia to the world. So that's why I finally become a tourist guide and a tour leader. If there's a question, so what is a tour guide? Tour guide is someone who guides someone and promoting and introducing his culture, his country, his cities, the history with all those interesting facts about his cities, about his country and everything related to where he comes from to the fellow citizen or to the foreigners who travel to his cities or to his country. And what about the tour leader? Tour leader is someone who take an individual or a group of people touring all around his country or even overseas. So if you want to see the world, you have to become a tour leader. But if you want to introduce your country to the world, become a tour guide. Okay, what tour guide must know? So as a tour guide, absolutely, you have to know every single thing, not every single thing, but at least you know the history of your city, your country, you know the culture, you know fun facts related to your country, about the cultures, about the food, about shoppings, about places of interest, and so many things. If you have a lot of information to share, to tell, you'll become a good storyteller. A good storyteller is a good tourist guide. Of course, you have to be well prepared. Whatever your profession is, you have to be well prepared. What kind of preparation you have to have? Well, you have to feed yourself with a lot of information, readings, watching, not only gossips, but also you have to watch like documentaries in YouTube, in TV, in whatever you can do, all right? And so you have to, communicate and also discuss. If you have good discussions with someone who have stories, who have knowledge, of course, you will have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. And also you have to prepare your physical conditions. If you're not good enough, if you're not healthy enough, if you're not fit enough, so it's going to be very difficult for you to walk, because you have to work all day long. Sometimes you have to work 8 hours, sometimes you have to work 10 hours, sometimes you have to work more than 12 hours. So physically, mentally, and information-wise, you have to be well prepared. How can we improve our tour guide skill? We have to improve like every time, all right? So reading, of course, that's the thing for you to improve your, guiding skill and also for your storytelling skills. And also you have to learn how to communicate. If you are clever enough, if you have enough broad knowledge, but you cannot communicate, it will be very difficult for you to communicate. So learn how to communicate. Communicate is not only you talk to your clients, talk to your stakeholders like the drivers, the PIC in restaurants and hotels, but also how to persuade. Sometimes we have difficulties in the troubles along the journey, along the trips. Let's say a client is getting upset because of the unsatisfactory kind of service that delivered by the travel agency or by you. So you have to know how to do the handling objections, and that's through communications. And also you have to improve your language skill. If you're a tourist guide, if you're a tour leader, so your power, your tool is actually the language. You can also improve your, another tools like how to entertain, because you know what, guiding and touring is not only talking, it's not only leading a group of people, but also you have to face a lot of drama, dilemmas, and like different situations where sometimes you have to know when you have to become a good moderator, and you sometimes are faced with the moment where you have to entertain. Well, if you know how to sing, let's say, if you know how to joke, if you know how to play, small musical instruments like ukulele, you don't have to bring along your guitar or your piano, no, you just bring like harmonica or ukulele. If you don't have, the ability to play any musical instruments, it's okay for you, because your mouth is your instrument, right? As long as you have your mouth, as long as you trained your mouth, so you can do everything with your mouth, right? Well, sometimes, we hear travelers from many parts of the world, they prefer traveling without tourist guide. It's okay. It's your own right. It's their own right. But if you want to have a more meaningful kind of traveling with, a lot of information, with a lot of fun facts and interesting facts given to you, well, that's of course the things you have to do is meeting the locals. And meeting the right locals, not only meeting locals. Why I say meeting the right locals? Because sometimes we meet locals, they don't have a very good information about the things around him or around her. But if you meet a tourist guide, normally he has a lot of information to share. So if you have those kind of persons, the locals who are also licensed tourist guide, so everywhere you go, you will have very, very, you will have a lot of fun facts, a lot of information you will get. Okay, there are different types of tourists, of course, like different types of people with different kind of interest, with different kind of niche. Some of the people, they are preferring the off the beaten track kind of activities. Let's say, well, off the beaten track is something not mainstream, something not usual. Let's say I want to go to the jungle. I want to do the river boat, the river cruising or the river boating. And some of the tourists, some of the people, they prefer something relaxing, something which is not too adventurous. Let's say, oh, let's go shopping like most Asian do, like Indonesian do. Oh, we love shopping. Everywhere you go, okay, I have to buy this, especially the souvenirs, because there are a lot of people behind him or her asking, souvenir please, souvenir please. Okay, there are a lot of, there are different types of tourists, but what I normally do as a tourist guide or a tour leader, well, generally speaking, I'm handling more, in terms of tourist guiding, when I am guiding tourists from overseas to Indonesia, normally they're more interested in cultural kind of things or activities. Let's say, I want to see the traditional dancing performance. Well, if you go to Bandung, of course, there is no other place but Sawang Angklung Paujo, let's say. And when I take them to Sawang Angklung Paujo to see the performance of angklung, kids playing angklung, it will be amazing for them. So normally the European people that I'm bringing, that I'm leading or that I'm guiding, normally they are into more culture kind of stuffs. But if I travel overseas leading a group of Indonesian tour, normally those people are more interested in shopping. So how tour guides survive during the pandemic? Well, we've been almost like 1 year trapped in this kind of amazing world amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. But my motto is, if you do not want to be, let's say, if you do not want to be in a bad situation, you have to be creative. Well, in Bahasa Indonesia, I will say,
Kalau lo nggak mau kere, ya lo harus kreatif. Biar nggak kere, ya harus aktif. So if you don't want to get broken, if you don't want to be like poor, so you have to get yourself your ass move on, and then you have to be productive and do something as creative as possible. So when you produce something creative, when you create something creatively, inshallah, okay, the whole universe, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide you with good stuff, with good things. Remember, as long as you do something, when there is a will, there is a way. When you want it, then you get it. Okay, so the creative things that I do, or the productivity that I am doing now, what is it? Well, since I'm a tourist guide, since also I'm a public speaker kind of, not expertise, but practitioner, because I've been a, master of ceremony for years, as a radio announcer for years, and also I've been dealing with tourist guide or tourism industry for almost a decade or more than a decade. So I combined those two kind of, different worlds in, creative kind of content or production. It's called virtual tour. Have you ever heard about the virtual tour? If you haven't heard any single thing about virtual tour, so you have, obviously you have to follow my Instagram, promosi ya Bu, okay, @piknik bareng Idfi or @Idfi Pancani. There, voila, you will see my sepak terjang, my activities all around this kind of virtual kind of activity. So basically, virtual tour is, the tour we've been doing virtually, that we try to make it as real as possible, though real tour cannot be compared to virtual tour, but at least you get a teaser. You get the idea if one day you want to go somewhere around the world after the pandemic, but since you are not still trapped in the pandemic, so you cannot go anywhere, you cannot go outdoor, or it's impossible for you to go overseas. Virtual tour is one of the way out for you to know the world, to know also one of the most beautiful part of the world, called Indonesia. That's it from me.